He just now, a month ago, started hormone blockers.
That means that he's sterilized. They just sterilized their daughter or their trans son, whatever you want to call her. Yeah, they just sterilized their child.
Implant. It is to prevent his puberty. It will prevent a menstruation cycle and breast development. And he is counting down the days until he can start testosterone, which would be the first time something permanent would be happening, because at that point it would affect fertility.
It's going to affect you're sterilized. Yeah, she actually knows it's going to affect the fertility. So she knows that she's sterilizing her child. She literally knows it.
Use a blocker and go on to testosterone. Your eggs would never mature. You would have to go through female puberty for that, which is something you could do.
I could, but I don't want to.
Why?
Because it's uncomfortable.
What's up?
To think of that.
So, 12-year-old or whatever age this kid is, 10, 12, whatever, I don't know. So they're too dumb to get a tattoo because it's permanent. They might regret it later. But sterilization is okay. They're old enough to decide that. Okay, that makes sense. That checks.
I transitioned first, so I think that helped Olivia see that it was okay to be trans.
That's amazing.
No, didn't make her think it was okay to be trans. It made her think it was cool to be trans. They probably had a big pizza party when they, the older one said, "Oh, I'm trans." They probably had a big party, sparklers and candles and everything, cake, pizza, cookies. Yeah. And even if that didn't happen, you always want to emulate your other older brother or older sister.
Is it bigger than yesterday's, or is that?
I think it's
not about gender when you that's what kills me. When you emulate, every little kid wants to emulate their parents, and obviously one of their parents is not the same sex as them, so they're gonna, it's not about gender. It's about wanting to emulate the only two people. Because when you're 5 and under, you've never seen another human being really, except for your immediate family that you live with. It's not like you go out to the bar or something. You're 5, right? You only have 2 people. They're like gods to you. Yeah. So obviously, in your little 5 years of life, you're going to try to emulate the 2 gods that feed you and make sure you're alive and that you got heat and whatever. You know what I mean? And a house to live in. Yeah. Has nothing to do with trying to, I'm going to be a girl because I'm a boy and I'm putting lipstick on. Because no, the little boy is putting the lipstick on because he sees a god, his mother, the only 2 people he ever sees, and she's putting it on. So he wants to emulate that. He wants to do that. He wants to do what they're doing, not because he wants to be a girl. Okay, it's because he wants to emulate and be like. That's why you need to teach and direct your child and be like, yeah, that's nice that you want to be like me, but we're different in some ways.
That made it easier for her to come out.
Yeah, made it easier for her to come out. Yeah, of course. Yeah, she can lie now too, just like you're lying. You know what I mean? The oldest child is gay. The youngest child is just emulating. And the parents are brainwashing them since birth, telling them how they have no gender and it's okay to not have any gender.
And tell my parents because she knew that they would be accepting.
Olivia said she was transgender from the age of 4 until 5, and we allowed her to wear whatever she wanted, but she didn't socially transition until she was 5 years old. It was less shocking because we had just had a child transition and we had just educated ourselves about gender. A lot of people think that
they just educated themselves. See, that's what it is. These people need to stop educating themselves and just use common sense. You don't need to be educated to do anything in this world, really. You know what I mean? To fix it or be a good parent or be a good congressman or a good government person. All you need is common sense. When you start using educated crap that's when you are screwing things up, okay?
It must be a copycat situation where the younger one's just mimicking the older
Yeah.
one, thinking that the older one's getting some kind of praise or feedback, and they want the same attention. But this is who she is, and this is where we are.
I reacted
Didn't she just say that this person wanted to be a monkey?
to Olivia transitioning like most older siblings would, which is kind of like, but really? Even though I'm trans, I got a little defensive because I thought it was my thing. But
See, it's not. It's like it's a hobby. It's a thing. It's my thing. It's what I'm doing. You know, that's what I'm about now. It's not about actually being trans. It's just about this thing that they're doing. This new thing.
but now I saw and still see that Olivia's a girl and that she always will be.
He helped me.
Yeah, she always will be, even though like 99.99999% of people, little children who have dysphoria grow out of it, and most of them are just gay. Yeah, she's going to be a little girl her whole life because 5-year-olds they're smart. They just walked out of the womb, learned how to speak English. They can't even write yet. I bet you this little kid can't write cursive. I guarantee you. Okay, because I don't think he's old enough. But they're smart enough to know what they're going to be for the rest of their life. I don't even know what I'm going to be for the rest of my life, and I'm 60. That's not true. I'm going to be dead. But no child knows even adults don't know what they're going to be for their entire life. Like no one knows that. That's like me, a 20-year-old, 30-year-old. I'm a construction worker. And I'm going to be a construction worker my entire life. That's a guaranteed fact. You don't know that.
With Olivia, she's so young. She's only 7. The first thing would be a hormone blocker, and that's not until she would hit stage 2 of puberty. As of right now, we just follow her lead.
So she's going to put her on puberty blockers. She's already sterilized her first child, right? Now she's going to wait until this little child is like 10 or whatever, whenever she starts her puberty. And she's going to sterilize her too. So that'll be 2 children that she has sterilized. But she's not brainwashing anything, and this isn't crazy. This is just normal behavior.
Alright, let's head out.
And we parent, for those of you who think that we're just following our children around and doing nothing.
Yeah, you are following them around. They said that they want you to sterilize them, and you sterilized them. Yes, you're an idiot, and you're a monster. It's like a kid that wants to have ice cream all day, and you don't give them any kind of meat or any vegetables or anything, and 3 times a day all they eat is chocolate and ice cream and cookies and cake, and then you say, "Oh, you're mean. You don't want my kid to. He wants to do this." Yeah, so what? You stop them from doing that because that's what a parent does. They direct and teach. But these people don't direct and teach. Their child directs and teaches the parent. Yeah, so that makes all sense. That checks out as being sane.
Who says that we're pushing an agenda? I would ask them to look at their own children. If you can't find a way to love your child, and your faith or your fears are more important than you're caring for your own child, then don't look at me, look at yourself.
What the hell is he talking about? I think he's a nut job monster because he thinks that a 5-year-old can decide whether they can sterilize themselves. And that makes me some kind of transphobe, you freak. When all the little children that have had gender dysphoria in the last thousands of years since humanity exists, all of them grow out of it except for 1 out of 10 million. But this nut job says that, well, my kid might be that 1 in 10 million, so we're going to sterilize them just in case. Just in case. Just in case our child is that 1 in 10 million, we got to sterilize them now, just in case. I mean, it's a whole 1 in 10 million shot, so it's obviously going to happen that they're trans. I mean, every time there's a 1 in 10 million shot of something, it always comes true, right? You make a bet, and it's 1 in 10 million, you always win, right? Every time. Does that make sense?
Are going.
The scary statistics of what happens when a parent is not supportive of their transgender child.
Statistics show that's a lie, okay? Just like everything else is a lie that they're saying about this crazy world, man. Like men and women are the same.
High amount of suicide that occurs scared me so much that I knew that no matter what.
Think about it. 1 in 10 million children are trans, right? And a very, very small percentage of those, okay, are the purest of pure transsexual, okay? So now you're down to what? 1 in 50 million, okay? Now those are the only ones that are going to commit suicide from being trans, okay? The other ones, if they do commit suicide, they're doing it for other reasons, you know what I mean? It's not just because they're trans. So like it's 1 in what? 100 million? Commit suicide because of this? 1 in 100 million children. And she's like, well, if it's 1 in 100 million, well then we might as well sterilize our child just to make sure.
Fear or hesitation
you have a better chance of your kid having cancer. That's like me. Just think about it. If I take my kid since birth and tell him how he could have cancer, children get cancer, telling him about cancer, shaving his head, saying, this is what happens when you get chemo if you get cancer, I get bags and tape them to them and say, look, this is when people have cancer. Sometimes they got to carry a bag around to crap into and piss into. What do you think's going to happen when that kid is like 5, 6 years old? He's going to think he got cancer. I'll tell you that right now.
ultimately may not be who they are, but
this is real.
there's a concern from a lot of people that this could be a phase and this ultimately may not be who they are, but knowing that they're going to always have the experience of love and acceptance from us is key. We will love and accept them if they come to us tomorrow and say that they've changed their mind. We will love and accept them if they don't.
They're already sterilizing the first kid, and they're already planning to sterilize the second kid once he's like 10 years old or whatever. I love that. We'll just always accept them after we sterilize them if they change their mind, if they don't want to be sterilized when they're older. They're like, oh, that was a mistake. We'll still love them. Yeah. Will they still love you, though, parent? Will these children love you after you sterilize them and trick them? And especially this one's gay as hell. This is just a gay woman, okay? Be a gay woman, okay? Don't erase yourself for your parents because they have some kind of hate for gay people.
Where I am now, I have all the support I need.
Yep, she has all the support she needs at home with her parents. That's all she needs. She doesn't need, a relationship when she's older, a family when she's older. She don't need none of that. All she needs is her parents.
My father is transgender, so that's what's really special about him. My mother, I'm happy that she gets...
See, that's what's special about her dad, see? See, if you're she's already, 3 years old? She knows that being transsexual is, what did she say, special? What did she say?
Is transgender, so that's what's really special about him.
Yeah, that's what's special about him. Let me ask you something. If you tell a 1-year-old for 5 years until they're 6 or 7 or however old this kid is, that doing this or having this is being special, do you think that child is going to grow up and be 5 years old? They're going to want to be that or have that thing that makes their parent special. But that's not brainwashing at all, no. Telling them all, yeah, that's what makes them special.
My mother, I'm happy that she gets to be happy, so it's super special for her.
Alright, just not only being trans is special, okay, but being with a trans person, that's super duper special, okay? And she knows. But she's not being brainwashed.
Well, transgender means you come out as a little girl or a little boy, and then they started, hey, I don't feel like I'm a girl at all. To come out as a girl and then are raised as a boy, or come out